The cycles of being. This is the Bush Whisperer coming at you from the beautiful penguin sanctuary, Boulders Penguin Sanctuary, Cape Town, Sinus Sound, southern tip of Africa. These cycles of being. It's like the universe is a matrix. I've done a video on this in the past. Go and take a look at it. Follow these sequence of videos from the beginning to the end. There's season 1 and season 2. Sequentially is the best way to do this. This matrix that we're in seems to be so real. Seems to be so complete. The structure of this matrix seems to be so solid. But we've realized physics has advanced and shown us that things aren't what they seem. The big things are actually made out of small things, and the small things are actually fundamental big things. Some kind of a contract between the small and the great things in the world, that they all express a fundamental unity. The path of phi, the mathematics of being, the structure of the firmament, Ma'at, the night sky and the stars that stand above us, being the map of the inner worlds within us. Astrology has learned to map this. So life is a series of cycles, and as we watch the wheel turn in our world, summer, autumn, winter, spring, summer again, all things follow these principles. Cycles are fundamentally the domain of the moon from occult therapeutics. The shaman is very in tune with the cycles of life, observing that cycles are the expressions of repetition that build new forms, and new forms need to replace the forms that have become outdated and left behind. Sort of the prints of the pages of a book that keep turning these pages of life, printing new images and new words upon the pages of the book as we move forwards through time. So this is rather fundamental, because things have to die in order for things to be born. So there's this balance between the forces of creation and the forces of destruction. Entropy is as important as anentropy. I've done videos on this. It's important to realize this, appreciate this, and grasp that life is a series of cycles that repeat themselves. Patterns. The universe is more of a pattern than it is anything else, if you want to be fundamentally honest with yourself. And that what we think is real is an echo of the past. And the past is a projection back from the future. And this is an interesting way of looking at things. And that everything is moving towards the now, from the future and from the past. There's a little bit of a secret being expressed here about the nature of manifestation, nature of time. Time is thus cyclic. Things that we've been, we will be in the future, but a different octave thereof. Things that we've known, we will discover in the future, but a different octave thereof. And so everything is this cycle of repetition. But the repetition gains new nuances, and those nuances are the fabric of growth, the inner growth, and the development and growth of the world around us. The changes of the environment, the evolution of the forms of life that live upon the planet, are as the changes within ourselves and the changes of the emotions that we experience within our hearts. Though it's the same fundamental pack of cards, like a tarot deck, being shuffled and dealt repeatedly. And so you can predict the future if you know the past. These are secrets that have always been known by the adepts. And this is how the wheel of astrology turns. This understanding of these principles can bring an immensity of wisdom when one allows oneself to become entranced by the experiential reality thereof. and to absorb the principles through life's expression of the principles of experience. So everything that we think we are is an echo from the past, and everything that we think we will be is an echo from the now. And what we are now are echoes from the past and the future, becoming present. And so presence is the sphere of radiation that moves from and toward the self. And the self is rotating. I did an interesting video about irritation and patience. You can check it out. These videos are all sequentially facilitated, so it's best to follow them in sequence from beginning to end. That way you'll get the best value from the experience of this course. This is season 2, of course. Season 1 precedes season 2. Smash a like button and share this video. Let the algorithms work for us and help this channel grow, if you think others will benefit from this message. So the life that we experience is a confluence of cycles, and these cycles are moving us sort of the way in which the cycles of the ocean move the fish around. The cycles of the ocean move the oxygen through the water. Cycles of the ocean change to become more CO2 rich with a greater affinity of free-floating positive hydrogen ions at night, and to release these positive hydrogen ions when the sun is rising, and for the positive hydrogen ions to take over. And thus the plants are changing their breathing cycles, and they start to release the oxygen at night. During the day when they're taking in CO2 and releasing the CO2 at night. So everything in life is cycles in order for the balance and harmony to be found of life. And so observe the cycles of your life. Have a diary. Diarize the cycles. Keep track of them. As you watch your cycles, you'll learn so much about yourself. You'll notice that what you seem to be and how you seem to behave is a series of habits based on cycles of the past and expectations in the mind from the cycles of the future. The Lord of Cycles is the Lord of Time. Saturn. Saturn has this title. And the Saturnial pull is the contract between the past and the future, which is now. And this is the fundamental constructing facilitator of the universe we know and of ourselves. Saturn finds extension through the solar power. There's a little bit of a play on words here. For those that have ears, let them hear. You'll understand how to work with Saturn. Though Saturn is a very intense force to work with. The ray of Saturn is a highly constructive ray because of the contract. One needs to consider contraction very deeply. What is contraction? So there are centripetal forces that we need to take into account. Centrifuge, that's the opposite. So we can see Saturn and Jupiter being part of a polarity. For Jupiter is the expanding principle, the expansion, the centrifuge of the spiral of life. And Saturn is the contraction, the centripetal force that contracts towards the center, giving rise to contracts and laws. Contracts are laws. Contracts between time and space, contracts between different objects of different resonant frequencies. We call such contracts gravity, for example. So to understand the nature of this reality is to understand that this reality is a series of contracts moving upon a contrafugal path of expansion in a state of balance and harmony between these two principles. And thus the cycles are maintained Thus we have what the Vedic call chakra, the spinning sensation of the universe. So realize this. When you're moving through life, everything will repeat itself. You can actually learn how to let this work for you. Surfers use this when they're going out to sea as a metaphor. They watch the waves. They come in sets. If you get in rhythm with the sea's harmony, you can paddle out to the back to get behind a series of really large breaking waves with minimal force, minimal effort. Timing, the domain of the shaman. Knowing when to move. So when you see a group of surfers standing on the beach, watching the waves, waiting, they're waiting for the moment when the last of the breakers will come through with the sets. And then they'll paddle out and there'll be a backdraft that'll suck them right out to the back quickly. And then they can rest and wait for the sets to get the big waves. And so life is like surfing. Understanding how these cycles work, understanding when is the time to move, when is the time to rest, understanding when is the time to apply yourself, and when is the time to not apply yourself, is about finding the resonance of harmony and balance within, so that we can be in tune with these forces that move from the past and the future, and towards the past and the future from ourselves. This is the curve of learning. Learning is where we combine the future and the past and the present and correlate information from it like a big computer. Do subscribe to this channel so you don't miss my daily uploads. There are daily uploads coming. And enjoy the course. Hope you're having an absolutely awesome day. Om Shanti.